Imagine this. You are sitting at a really nice restaurant.
Oh, setting the scene. I like it.
Right. So it has been a long, demanding day. The lighting is low, the atmosphere is perfect, and the waiter hands you a menu.
Okay.
But it's one of those massive menus. We're talking pages and pages of options.
Oh, like a diner menu that looks like a novel.
Exactly. So you start reading. You look at the appetizers, then the salads, then the main courses, and then the daily specials. 5 minutes go by.
Just reading.
Just reading. You're weighing the cost of the salmon versus the steak. Wondering if you want like a heavy meal or a light meal. Then 10 minutes pass. Then 20.
Wow.
And the waiter comes back to your table with this polite smile and asks what you would like to order. And suddenly...
Panic.
Yes. You feel this overwhelming sense of panic. Your brain completely freezes. Choosing a meal has become so incredibly stressful that you actually just give up. You hand the menu back and say, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll just have a glass of water for now.
Yeah, you've just hit a biological wall. And that is exactly what we are getting into today. We are exploring why modern life drains our brains so thoroughly that by, say, 6 o'clock in the evening, we simply run out of energy to decide anything at all.
It's a very real feeling. And before we really get into it, we should mention we have custom designed this specific deep dive for intermediate English learners.
Right around that B1 to B2 level.
Yeah, to help you master the vocabulary of mental exhaustion.
Yeah.
So we will be speaking clearly and at a moderate pace, but honestly, if you are listening, just let the conversation wash over you like background music. Don't stress over every single word.
Exactly. And to make it really practical, we are going to seamlessly weave in 3 essential vocabulary words throughout our conversation today.
A little word tour.
A word tour, yes.
True.
These are going to be powerful words you can use to describe this exact psychological trap in your own life.
I love that. So let's go back to that restaurant scenario. Why does choosing a simple dinner feel like you're trying to solve this massive, complex math equation at the end of the day? I mean, it is just food.
It's a good question. It feels like a massive math equation because, well, biologically speaking, your brain is treating it like one.
Wait, really?
Yeah. To understand this, we kind of have to look at the mechanism inside your head. You have to start thinking about your willpower as a battery.
Okay, a battery.
Right. And it's specifically tied to a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex. That's the area just behind your forehead.
Right, the front part.
Exactly. And it is the absolute engine of decision-making and impulse control.
And, I mean, like any engine, it requires fuel.
A tremendous amount of fuel, actually. Your brain overall consumes about 20% of your body's energy.
Wow.
Yeah, mostly in the form of glucose. So when you wake up in the morning after a good night's sleep, that prefrontal cortex is fully fueled. Your willpower battery is basically at 100%.
Okay, so you're ready to go. You're ready to go. But every single choice you make throughout the day, every little one forces that prefrontal cortex to burn glucose. And as it burns fuel, it drains a little bit of that power.
You know, this reminds me perfectly of a smartphone battery.
Oh, that's a great comparison.
Right. Because you know when you look at your phone at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it is already down to 20%?
Yes. The worst feeling.
And you look at it and think, I haven't even made any phone calls today. I haven't watched any videos. Why is it dead?
Right.
But it is because you have all those background apps running silently on your device.
Oh, yes.
They are tracking your location, downloading software updates, refreshing your social media feeds. All these tiny daily decisions we make are exactly like those background apps.
They run silently, consuming your battery before you even realize what is happening.
Yeah.
That's spot on. Because we are not just talking about big career choices here.
Right. It's the little stuff. It's waking up and immediately facing a barrage of micro decisions. What am I going to wear today? Should I hit snooze on the alarm? What should I eat for breakfast? Which road should I take to avoid traffic?
Oh, and when I open my computer, which of these 50 emails should I answer first?
Yes. It is estimated that the average adult makes something like 35,000 remotely conscious decisions every single day.
35,000? That is unbelievable.
It is. And human beings did not evolve to do this. Historically, our ancestors had very few decisions to make, you know?
Right. It was much simpler.
Yeah. You woke up, you decided whether to hunt or gather, you ate what was available, and you went to sleep when it got dark.
No emails to check.
No emails. But today, you walk into a grocery store and have to choose between 40 different types of toothpaste.
Oh, the toothpaste aisle is the worst.
It really is. The sheer volume of options overloads the prefrontal cortex. So when that battery gets low enough, you experience the condition that brings us to our first vocabulary phrase today.
Here we go. First stop on the word tour.
Yes. The phrase is decision fatigue.
Decision fatigue. Okay, let's define that clearly for you listening. Decision fatigue is the heavy mental exhaustion you feel after making too many choices throughout the day.
Exactly.
It is a biological state where your brain is so tired, so depleted of glucose and energy from just choosing things, that even the most basic, meaningless choices feel absolutely impossible to make.
It is the direct cause of the classic Netflix trap.
Oh man, the Netflix trap. Everyone listening has experienced this.
For sure.
You finish work, you eat your dinner, and you sit down on the couch totally exhausted. You decide you just want to watch a movie to relax.
Sounds nice.
So you open up your streaming service and you start scrolling. You look at action movies, then documentaries, then comedies, you watch trailers.
You read all the little summaries.
Yes. You spend 45 minutes looking at different options, treating these tiny, meaningless choices about what comedy to watch like they are literal life or death decisions.
Yeah.
And eventually you just give up, turn off the television, and go to sleep.
Because the actual act of choosing a movie demanded too much glucose from an already depleted prefrontal cortex.
It's wild.
The decision fatigue completely wiped you out. You didn't even get to enjoy the relaxation you were seeking. This mechanism explains what happens when that willpower battery finally reaches zero in the evening.
It just shuts down.
Essentially, yes. When the prefrontal cortex goes offline to conserve energy, your ability to exert self-control disappears right along with it.
You know, this makes so much sense. This is usually around 8 o'clock at night for me.
Yep, the dangerous hour.
If someone offers me a large slice of chocolate cake at 10 in the morning, I can usually say no. I have the willpower. But at 8 o'clock at night, at the end of a long, decision-heavy day, saying no to that exact same cake feels completely impossible.
Because your brain simply does not have the energy required to override your primitive desire for sugar.
Right.
It takes active, conscious energy to make the difficult choice to decline a reward. Without that energy, you just surrender.
You just eat the cake.
You eat the cake. Which brings us to our second vocabulary word today. This word describes exactly how you feel when you are staring at that massive restaurant menu or staring at Netflix or staring at that cake. The word is paralyzed.
Paralyzed. Let's define what it means to be paralyzed in this context.
Okay.
To be paralyzed means to feel so overwhelmed or so unsure by having too many options that your brain literally hits a wall. You cannot act. You cannot decide. You are frozen in place.
And understanding this biological paralysis is the key to a crucial mindset shift.
How so?
Well, when you find yourself paralyzed, when you, say, skip your language study or eat the junk food or spend an hour scrolling aimlessly on your phone, you need to understand something fundamental. It is not because you are lazy.
Really?
It is not because you are a weak person with no discipline.
I cannot stress how deeply comforting and relieving that realization is.
Right.
Because people carry around this heavy moral guilt. We view our evening crashes as character flaws. We sit there and think, well, I am just a lazy person. I am broken. But hearing that it is actually just a low battery, that completely changes the narrative. It removes the shame entirely.
It removes the shame and replaces it with a mechanical problem that we can actually solve.
A mechanical problem, I like that.
Yeah, it is just a biological reality of how your brain functions. You spent all your fuel making choices all day, and now the tank is empty. So if we know that our battery naturally runs out every single day, we can start figuring out how to manipulate our daily routines to protect that energy.
Okay, so let's get into the cure. If the problem is that life keeps throwing thousands of questions at us, the cure has to be finding a way to stop answering them, right?
Precisely.
We have to conserve our mental energy for the big stuff, the things that actually matter.
That requires making fewer decisions. And the most effective way to make fewer decisions brings us to our third and final vocabulary word today.
The final stop on the word tour.
You must automate.
Automate. Okay, let's define automate for the listener. To automate something means to make a decision or an action happen naturally and automatically, without much effort and without even having to plan for it.
Right.
You set the system up one time and it just runs by itself in the background.
When we talk about automating your life, the most famous example from our source material is the tech billionaire wardrobe.
Oh, right, the black t-shirt.
Yes. You see incredibly successful busy people wearing the exact same black t-shirt or the same gray sweater every single day of their lives.
Like Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg.
Exactly. They do this to automate their mornings. They absolutely refuse to wake up and waste even 1% of their prefrontal cortex energy deciding between a blue shirt and a white shirt.
That makes a lot of sense.
They grab the black shirt, the decision is bypassed completely, and their battery stays full for the boardroom.
Okay, wait. I need to push back on this a little bit.
Sure.
Automating everything sounds incredibly efficient, yes.
Yeah.
But it also sounds incredibly boring.
Fair.
I mean, if I eat the exact same oatmeal every single day and I wear the exact same black shirt every day, haven't I just turned myself into a robot? Food and fashion. These are joys of human life. Where is the joy if everything is just a predetermined script?
That is a very fair challenge. But the goal of automation is not to eliminate joy. The goal is to protect your energy so you can actually experience joy.
Oh, I see.
You aren't meant to automate the things you deeply care about. If fashion is your passion, do not automate your wardrobe. Spend your energy there.
Right. Enjoy picking out your outfit.
Exactly. But if you don't care about breakfast and you just eat whatever is in front of you, automate that.
So you are automating the mundane to save fuel for the meaningful.
Exactly. Beautifully said. You scale this down for everyday life by finding the areas where choice is just a burden to you.
Okay, give me an example of scaling it down.
Well, if you know that every Monday through Friday you eat oatmeal with blueberries, you never have to stand in front of the refrigerator at 7 in the morning wondering what to eat.
Right. The decision is already made.
Yes. You can plan your weekday dinners on Sunday afternoon. You can keep healthy snacks packed in your bags, so when you get hungry at 3 in the afternoon, you don't have to choose between finding a cafe or eating from a vending machine.
You just eat the snack you already packed.
You are taking the choice away from your tired brain.
You make the decision once on a Sunday, and then you ride the momentum of that single decision all week long.
Precisely.
But, automating physical things like clothes and food is one thing. You can't really just put studying English or going for a run on autopilot the exact same way you do a black t-shirt. Behaviors require a totally different approach, don't they?
You've hit on the limitation of physical automation right there. Once you handle the physical environment, you have to automate your daily behaviors. And that requires a different psychological tool.
Which is?
Creating micro-rules.
Micro-rules. Okay, how is a micro-rule different from just trying to build a good habit? Like, if my goal is to drink more water or read more books, isn't that just a habit I'm trying to form?
A habit is an action you hope you will do repeatedly over time until it becomes second nature. But a micro-rule is much stronger, and it's much more immediate.
Okay, stronger how?
It is a strict, unbreakable contract you make with yourself. Because without a strict rule, you exhaust your willpower battery by constantly negotiating with yourself in your head.
Oh, the internal debate. I know it well.
We all do. You sit on the couch and the cognitive load begins. You think, should I study my English vocabulary now? Or maybe I should watch one more YouTube video and then study.
Or the classic.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just too tired today, so I will study twice as long tomorrow to make up for it.
Exactly. And that back and forth negotiation is actively burning glucose.
Yeah.
A micro-rule makes the decision for you permanently.
One of the examples from our sources today illustrates this perfectly, actually. The rule is, no social media until I finish my English journaling.
Notice how definitive that is.
Yet there is zero wiggle room. When you pick up your phone and think, I'll just check Instagram for 5 minutes, the micro-rule steps in and says no. The contract says you must write in your journal first.
Right. You don't have to evaluate how tired you are.
Or whether you feel motivated to write. You just do it because the rule dictates the behavior. It completely takes the emotional weight out of the decision.
And by eliminating the debate, you eliminate the energy drain.
That makes total sense.
But there is a final layer to this puzzle.
There's always a final layer.
Always. You can have the best micro-rules in the world and you can automate your breakfast perfectly. But a bad physical environment will still completely paralyze you.
So you can have all the internal motivation in the world, but if your external setup is working against you, your exhausted, evening brain is going to fail.
Completely. This is about protecting your energy by actively shaping your environment to reduce what psychologists call friction.
Friction.
Yeah, friction is any unnecessary difficulty, any extra step, or any resistance that stands between you and the good behavior you want to accomplish.
Like what?
Think of friction like driving a car with the parking brake pulled up. You can press the gas pedal as hard as you want using tons of motivation and willpower, but the resistance is going to make it an incredibly difficult ride.
Give me a concrete example of this parking brake in daily life.
Okay, let's say your goal is to read a book in English for 15 minutes every night before bed. You have your micro rule set, but your English book is currently hidden inside a drawer, in a desk, in a completely different room of your house.
Okay, yeah.
When 9 o'clock at night arrives, your prefrontal cortex is depleted. Your battery is running very low. Your brain calculates the steps. Stand up, walk down the hall, turn on the light, open the drawer, find the book, and walk back.
That feels like climbing a literal mountain to a tired brain.
It is too much friction. Your brain will immediately say, that is way too much work. Human nature operates like water flowing down a hill, you know. We naturally seek the path of least resistance.
And the path of least resistance is usually just picking up the smartphone sitting right next to you on the couch.
Exactly, because the phone has zero friction. It is literally designed to be frictionless.
Right.
But imagine if you shaped your environment differently. Imagine if, in the morning, when you had a fully charged willpower battery, you took your English book, your notebook, and a pen, and you placed them right on the center of your pillow.
Oh, wow. So when 9 o'clock rolls around and you go to bed, the book is staring right at you.
You actually have to move the book to go to sleep.
The friction is completely gone for reading. In fact, you've created friction for going to sleep without reading it.
You flip the dynamic entirely, and the same applies to exercise. If you want to go for a run in the morning, do not wait until your alarm goes off to figure out where your clothes are.
You leave your gym shoes right by the front door?
Yes. You put your running clothes on a chair directly next to your bed. You step into them the moment your feet hit the floor. You perform the task before your brain even has a chance to wake up and debate the decision.
So you are basically setting yourself up for success by being a good friend to your future exhausted self.
That's a great way to put it.
You do the hard work of deciding when your battery is full, so you don't have to do it when your battery is empty.
You remove the friction, and the good habit becomes the absolute easiest choice to make.
Well, looking at the big picture we've painted today, the core message is incredibly empowering. If you find yourself staring blankly at a restaurant menu or trapped in an endless scrolling cycle on your couch, remember that you are just a human being operating with biological limits.
Very true.
You are living in an incredibly loud, fast-paced world that demands an unnatural number of choices from you every single day. Your brain is simply trying to survive the overload.
And to help you manage that overload, let's quickly recap the 3 core words we integrated into our conversation today.
Our word to a recap.
Yes. First, we explored decision fatigue, which is that heavy mental exhaustion caused by making too many choices, draining your brain's fuel. Second, we talked about feeling paralyzed, which is that moment your brain hits a wall and you become completely frozen, unable to decide due to option overload.
And
Finally, we discussed how to automate your choices, establishing systems and micro rules that happen naturally without draining your precious energy.
mastering those concepts really changes how you approach your entire day. And because knowledge is only useful when you apply it, we have a challenge for you to try tomorrow morning.
I love a good challenge.
Right. Do not try to change your whole life all at once. Just pick one tiny thing to automate. Maybe you decide tonight exactly what you will eat for breakfast tomorrow.
Or lay out your work clothes before you go to sleep.
Yeah, or put your language textbook directly on your desk. Automate one single decision, give your prefrontal cortex a tiny bit of rest, and see how much better your battery feels by the time evening rolls around.
And as you experiment with reducing friction and protecting your willpower battery, there is a final lingering thought to consider long after this deep dive ends. Well, we have spent our time today discussing the small things, what to wear, what to eat, what to watch, but consider the broader implications.
Okay.
If we are wasting so much of our precious limited brain energy merely deciding what to eat for dinner, what massive life-changing decisions are we subconsciously avoiding simply because our brains are too tired to even think about them?
Wow. That is a staggering thought. If the battery is dead before you even consider your larger goals, those goals never get addressed.
Exactly.
If you can't pick a movie on a Tuesday night, how are you supposed to find the energy to change your career or move to a new city or learn a new language?
It really puts it into perspective.
Getting that battery fully charged isn't just about surviving the day, it's about having the power to shape your future. There's your food for thought. Keep automating, keep protecting your peace, and we will catch you on the next one.